Hello, hello. So I want to make sure that we are live streaming on YouTube. Streaming on YouTube. We have a couple of minutes here, and I think we're good to go. YouTube. Okay, let me close some tabs here. Okay, that's good. Okay, there we go. I don't want to echo. We have a couple of minutes here, and once I So if you're watching the replay, we're going to be starting in just a minute. I'm just going to give a couple of minutes for some people to join live. If you are here and you're able to comment in the chat, I'm going to actually close this because I'm getting an echo. Let me close that. So I've got it on my phone. So if you are here, okay, great. I see Lakeisha here. Wonderful. Can you hear me okay? Finally got it. Okay. Just want to make sure. Can you hear me okay? Fix something, make sure the audio is working properly. Second, and we'll get started. That's good. Okay. All righty. Okay, everything's great. Okay, yeah, I forgot there's like about a 20-second delay. Okay, wonderful. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing the screen and get right into it for those of you who are going to be watching the replay. But what I wanted to do was to say thank you and welcome for coming. Thank goodness we got all the technical issues all worked out. So yeah, we'll get right into it. So give me 1 second to switch screen share. And again, if you are coming in on the live stream on YouTube, feel free to comment in the chat. I've got it open here on my phone. That way I can see it on the side. And then we'll get going. So let me just double check some slides here. Make sure that we're all set. Okie dokie. Tabs. Let's go to the press. Okay. We're getting the recording going here. I'm going to share my screen. So this is the workbook or the planner, I should say. I keep calling it a workbook, but this is the planner that I'm going to be speaking from today. And I'm going to be talking about what the focus of this conversation is, which is on 10 plus proven ways to get more eyeballs and sales on your book. So I'm going to go right into it because we're about 3 minutes after the hour, and I want to make sure we start on time for everyone who's watching the replay. So again, my name is Rodney Washington. I am an author, published 3 times published author, actually 4 times published author. I have been working in and around the book publishing, self-publishing industry for probably about 30 plus years. I have a lot of experience with helping my current clients and students actually develop their ideas into books and digital planners. I've been working primarily in the coloring book and digital planner or physical planner space, but now I'm expanding that now to go into working with nonfiction authors. If you're interested in creating a nonfiction book, this is going to be applicable. Some of this will even be applicable if you even publish fiction books as well. So again, if you are creating a book and you are obviously the number one thing that everyone wants, which is why they create a book, is they want to get more. They want to get the book into more people's hands, hence eyeballs on their actual book. They want to get more eyeballs on the book because the only way they can sell the book is also to get more eyeballs on the book. So it's really super important, the things we're going to talk about today, because what I have found across the board, especially since the advent of Amazon, while it's an amazing platform, but it does lend itself to the idea that because the book just exists on the platform, that it's going to just automatically get sales because the book is on the platform. And that's not the case. Us as the author creator, I call it authorpreneur, we must prime the pump. We must do the things that are necessary in order for people to know about our books, so therefore they can buy them, potentially buy them, and then whatever ancillary services that we create as a result of that. Hence this workshop today that you're here for. So again, I created this because there's a variety of different ways that you can get the word out about your book. And I'm not saying that you have to do all 15, actually. Actually, I said 10 in the title, but it's actually 10 plus. So it's going to be 15 I'm covering, but there's actually more than that. But these are the ones that you can get started with immediately. You don't need a big budget. You don't have to take a lot of time, although it's going to be investment of some time, a little bit of research. But the main thing is you're going to have to take action. Action is going to be the driving force behind all of this. So if you're not taking consistent action, nothing's going to work really. So your book can live on Amazon. Sales can happen on Amazon. All of that's great. I look at Amazon as a fulfillment center, not the end all to be all. I look at it as a fulfillment center, period. So with that said, we still, as the authorpreneur, must do our part to make the people who would be potential buyers for our book, we need to make them aware of the book's existence. And that's what the focus of this conversation is going to be happening about today. So if you have any questions for me, please type them in the chat here on YouTube. I'll be more than happy to take a look at them. And let's get right into it. So again, as I said, my name is Rodney Washington. I'm going to be covering today the bestseller blueprint, 10 plus proven strategies to get more eyeballs and sales on your book. So let's go right into it. The first strategy that I recommend that everyone who has a book done, or even if you are in the development of your book, is to do an update because pretty much everyone's on Facebook. I mean, there's probably not any of us that aren't on Facebook. You can apply this to other platforms, but for this particular example, I'm focusing on Facebook. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but you can actually use your personal Facebook page now to promote your services and your products. There was a time for the history of Facebook is that you couldn't do marketing on your personal page. Well, now they're allowing us to do that. There is a category switch that we need to do with our accounts. I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but I am going to talk about and demonstrate to you what I mean. So as you see here, this is a banner. As you know, on Facebook, this is my personal page on Facebook. On the top of your Facebook page, you can put an image up there. Some call it a banner, some call it an album cover. This has been around since the beginning of Facebook. This is very valuable real estate. What I mean by that is when someone checks you out, the first thing they're going to see is this big image at the top of your Facebook page. So being able to put an image at the top of your Facebook page that illustrates what your book looks like. Now, in my case, I have a podcast, so I'm also showing a podcast player in addition to the artwork from my digital book. This is not a physical book, this is a digital book. But by having something with good layout, good design, good color, something that pops and draws the eye in, the reds and the yellows pull the eye in, complemented with the purple, it just pulls the eye in. Now, you can put graphics that represent what the inside of the book looks like and the cover. If you've got, like I said, audio, you can put that there. And then the next part of it is then a call to action button. Now, this here is actually, I should put on here, actually click here to find out more. So I will have to actually go and update that now that I'm thinking about it. But when you click on this image, when someone clicks on this image, it takes them over to a description. So a lot of people don't know that when you upload your album cover image or your banner image at the top, you can actually write in text right inside of that post. You can write that text in there, including a link to your landing page. Now, again, you're going to need a well, you don't have to have one, but I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend that you have a landing page, because the purpose of this is not just to drive traffic to Amazon to go buy your book, but to get people on your email list. So therefore, because that's number one, you want to get eyeballs, you want to start developing a relationship. The first step in doing that is getting them on your email list. Once they're on your email list, you can redirect them to wherever you want to send them. You can redirect them to Amazon or Lulu or whomever you're using to go purchase the actual book. But I always recommend doing a landing page in between, which is this. So this is a landing page where someone can basically just put in their contact information. In this case, I'm asking for name and email address and the click send it to me button. And then they will immediately be directed to where they can go and get this up here at the top. As you can see, there's consistency in the design between the banner at the top and what you see on this page here. So again, this is something anyone can do like immediately. Again, I recommend though that you do have a landing page as an in between them filling out this form and then them going to where the book lives, if it's on Amazon or wherever you want to have it. All right. Now, this is an example of one of my client students. Her name is Nefertari, and that was up there. And Nefertari Geis, and her book is called Serve the Silent. She's one of my students on my Coloring Book Creator Mentor program. And this is the example of her banner. Now, when you click, and then she said she has a call to action, get 3 sample pages from my coloring book. When you click on the image here, you see the full image, but there's also a link right here in the comments where people can go to her landing page, which is this page here, to go opt in for her book. Now, once people fill out their contact information, they're directed to a thank you page where there's additional information and resources from Lakeisha. I'm sorry, from Nefertari. And then one of those being it directs over to her page on Amazon where the book can be purchased. So again, this is something that basically anyone can do immediately. And I'll even take it a step further. You can still do this even if your book is in development. So what I mean by, if you have, like in this case, if you have at least what you think the cover design is going to be, and you have maybe just a couple of pages of what the inside's going to be, you can take advantage of this now. As a matter of fact, I recommend that you do this before the book is actually published, because you want to be building up your email list while you're creating your book. A lot of the biggest number one mistake that a lot of authorpreneurs make is that they wait until the book is done before they start marketing. If you get nothing else from this call today, or if you're watching the replay of this, if you get nothing more from what I say, don't wait until the book is done. Start marketing the book like right away. So again, this of course obviously is very visual heavy, but if you've got the visuals, if you've got the mock-up of the cover, if you've got just a couple of designs of what the inside of the book will look like. In her case, she's doing a coloring book with word search pages, but it could also be text-based pages. It doesn't have to be a graphic like this. I want to make sure for the nonfiction people that you have that. But if you do have something that's kind of illustrative inside the book, of course, use that. Obviously, you want to use, a good background image, and then this is just an accent that was found in Canva to use for the pencils. Now, inside of the digital planner, if you decide to upgrade and get that today, over here, I have a link to this template in Canva. So when you you decide to get the planner, you actually get the access link to the exact template that I used here. So this template here, which you see here, is what this is right here. Okay. So again, let me, and then you'll get access to that, and then you can edit it. I'm also going to talk about a way that you can work with me directly to get more one-on-one support with helping you customize all of this as well. So anyway, I just want to let you know that inside of the planner, you're getting access to a variety of different Canva templates to help jumpstart the process. All righty. Let's move on to number two. Number two is what I call an interest post. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so you can see this a little bigger, because I want you to really see that. So again, this is going back to Nefertari's book, Serve the Silent. Now, what I like about an interest post is the banners at the top of your Facebook page, okay? But then you also need, obviously, content to go into the body of your actual Facebook feed. In this case, again, you can apply this to TikTok or whatever other platform that you're using, Instagram, what have you, maybe even LinkedIn as well. So what it is that in this case, what Nefertari did was she wrote a post basically talking about her doing this book. And then she has a really good call to action here, which I really, really recommend that you have. She's talking about her mission and her purpose as to why she created this book to begin with. And then she's puts a call to action here. Get your free sneak peek inside. To get 3 free coloring pages, type me in the comments and I'll message you the link. Now, in this case, which is what I recommend, and I'm specifically speaking about Facebook in this context, you don't want to put you don't want to put links in the well, I shouldn't say you don't want to. I would test, let me back that up, correct that. I would test putting a link to your landing page in the body of the text. But in this context, and what I coached Nefertari around was not to put the link to the landing page inside the body. One, Facebook tends to denigrate those types of posts, meaning they don't push them out if there's links to other things, because Facebook wants you to keep people on the platform, not send them off the platform. So what I recommend but what they do want is engagement. So by giving the instructions to have your prospect person type a keyword, it could be me or download or whatever the book subject is around, just one word in the comments. When people comment on that post and you reply back, that's what Facebook wants. It wants that conversation happening between the algorithm. It wants that conversation to be going back and forth between you and the other person. Now, what's great about that is they are now connecting to you as the author creator. That's number one. Two, you can then direct message them the link to, in this case, she direct messaged the link to her landing page. But she's starting the conversation within Facebook. Again, you can do now, if you're on a platform like TikTok, for an example, until I believe, and they may have changed this, I'm not quite up to date on TikTok because at one point we weren't even going to have TikTok anymore. But the point I want to make is that some platforms you can't put a link at the top of your page. Instagram, I believe you can have up to 3 or 5 now. But what I like about direct messaging over putting a link or relying on people to put a link at the top of their page is that you are now taking the conversation that you're starting back and forth in the comments now to the DMs. So take it to the DMs. So you can DM them the link to go download your free pages. You can also check back with them to the DMs to see if they got it. You can check back to see what they liked and what they thought about it. If it's a coloring book, like in this case, are they coloring? Maybe share some pages. You're starting a one-to-one conversation with people. And in doing so, of course, you're moving the needle closer to them potentially buying the book because you are now starting a two-way conversation with them. So that's the benefit of these, what I call more grassroots kinds of strategies. All right. So the next one is do an interest post. If your book is done, and you've gotten the initial mock-up copy that you want to go through. If you're ordering your book through Amazon, you can order a proof copy of your book before the book is actually ready for sale, just to make sure that it looks right, everything is, working, and so on and so forth. This is perfect. The number one video I recommend all of my students to do, all of my coaching clients to do, is to do an unboxing of your book. It is I think one of the best videos that you can do. It showcases the book, it showcases what you've been working on, and they can be fun. If you have fun with it, they can be fun to make. And it also pulls the viewer in to want to get their hands on a copy of it because you've shown what the inside of the book looks like. So I'm just going to share a couple of links to a couple of unboxing videos. And actually, anyway, I'm not going to play the whole thing because I've got the link inside of the document. But anyway, this is a unboxing video from Marcia Ashley's book, Do All Things with Kindness. And she actually did this using a mobile phone. Let me see if I can turn the volume up a little bit.
When it's 20. Yeah. Well, even more excited.
I love her energy.
Okay, here we go. I have 20 books that I'm going to be signing for lucky winners. Okay, so look out for it. There's going to be some ways to get your book unsigned. So look out for it.
So a couple of things about this I wanted to point out in Marcia's video. What she did was she shot her video vertically using her phone, and then she imported the video into Canva. All of this that you see, this flat lay background behind it with her logo there and the word giveaway, which I'm going to be talking about contests in a minute. So what she's done here is that she's did the design layout. She's also a graphic designer by trade. She laid out a visual background, branded it with her logo, and then she overlaid her vertical video on top. What I like about that is that, because again, a lot of us obviously, now let me back up a couple of things. She could post this video just a vertical by itself. So I know, like for reels and things like that, you need a vertical video. So she could post it just like this without this whole background action going on. But when she needs a horizontal video format, the way she laid this out like this, I especially love this because she's pulling in really strong colors to pull in the viewer's eye. But the thing that really sells it is not the colors, it's not the logo, it's not even the book, it's her energy. Her energy is high energy. She's clearly excited about unboxing her book and sharing it with people. And as a result of that, she's going to sell more books because of the way that she brought it out to begin with. So showing her cutting the box open, pulling them out, her gestures, her smile, her warmth, her actual sincere passion for what she's done really sells it. So definitely do yourself a favor. If you can pull yourself into it, not just show the book by hand, but show your face and your personality, it goes a long way towards getting more eyeballs on your book. Now, the other thing that I have another one here with Lorraine. Now, this one here is a little different. Lorraine Dawson was one of my earlier students, and her book, actually, she did an unboxing.
I know that you had said you and I had a private conversation a while back.
Just a minute. What I did with this video here, she did an unboxing, and then I interviewed her for my podcast. So what I did was I actually overlaid the podcast player with an excerpt from our interview on top of the unboxing. So when you go to watch this, you actually could hear part of our conversation.
That you were speaking in general about your histories working in the nursing and how that inspired. I asked you how did it inspire the title of your book and what you decided to make your book around. You want to talk about that a little bit? The title of Lorraine's book is called Sarcastic Coloring and Journaling. It's a beautiful book, and I'm going to give you some details about how to check it out. But
So this is another example. There's a variety of different ways that you can show an unboxing or what I call a page flip video. Now, again, if you got a more artistic related book, this really works really well. Now, for a written book, probably not so much. Well, at least a page flip, unless you've got, well, I'll put it like this. You could do an unboxing video and show the inside of it. For example, if the way the book is laid out, if you've got the headlines or the chapter titles are really big and bold at the top, then you can go to particular chapters in the book that maybe you want to talk about briefly inside of a video. As a matter of fact, that's actually a good strategy. Let's say if you've got 10 chapters in your book, you could do a short 1-minute video talking about the topic of each chapter and a little bit about what's in that topic. Of course, if there's any kind of graphics, illustrations in the book, of course, you can emphasize that. So anyone can take advantage of an unboxing or a page flip video in your marketing. Again, you can, if you've been interviewed on a podcast, for an example, you can overlay an audio sample. I think this was actually a great method to be able to maximize the media exposure. I'm going to be talking about podcasting in a minute. All righty. So let's go back over to now. So number 3 is page flip. All right. The next one is if you, again, this goes on the same vein as what we just showed before with TikTok. If you have, in the case of what I had, was a coloring book, you can do what they call a time lapse video. This is one option you can play with. And what I did with this particular one,
I could be red, or I could be yellow, I could be blue, or I could be purple, I could be green or pink or black or white, I could be every color you like.
so all I did was I just took a page from my book, I recorded my hand coloring it, and I sped it up so that at the time when I did this, that was a really popular trend. And it may still be going on now. I'm not quite so sure. But the point I want to make is a time-lapse video could also work for you as well. Again, it depends upon the genre of book. It depends upon, if that style actually works. But I do like any way to get to stop the scroll and get people to pay attention, I think is worth your time to invest in. Now, on this one here, I'm going to show you if you are doing illustrated books of some sort or journal planners or whatever let's say if it's something that people actually write or color or fill out. Again, this could go for a workbook, for an example, or journal planner or what have you. If you want what I call top-down videos, this is the tabletop stand and mount I recommend. This one here is an overhead camera mount with a ring light. You can see it mounts on a table. It's got the spring handle, so it's really sturdy. I have this one. You have a brace for the phone, and then a light, so that the what you're creating is well lit. This is only like $28, I believe, $30. It's well investment, high worthy investment. So I recommend checking that out if you're going to be doing top-down videos. Whether you're doing time lapse or not is not so much the point, but you do need if you need some kind of a steady way to keep your camera still and well lit while you create, I recommend that. All right, moving on to number 5, engaging in Facebook groups. Now, because 5 and 6 are very much related, but what I want to focus on with number 5 is focusing on getting connection or creating connection with the moderator of the group, not just the group in and of itself, is meaning the people who are posting inside the group. This is where you want to take an opportunity to introduce yourself to the moderator of the group. Perhaps you can interview them. Let's say that you have a book on, I'll just pick a topic here. I'll just say you have a book on keto. That's your book is on eating keto, having a keto diet. And you're in a Facebook group on keto. There may be other authors in there, but they may not be doing what I'm going to recommend that you check it out, check into doing. What you could do is reach out to the moderator of the group, introduce yourself, introduce your book, and ask them if you could interview them on the subject of the group, why they created it, what was their journey with the subject, you want to showcase them as the expert, not you. The reason why you do that is because if the focus is on the owner of the group and not you per se, the chances are greater that they're going to share it because it won't come across as self-promotional. You're actually promoting them. A tip I always give my coaching clients is if you can make the person that you're approaching look better to their audience by the service you provide, they will in turn promote you. But your focus should be on how can I help them, not on what you're getting out of it. So literally, if you have a book on a subject, go into Facebook groups, see if you can interview the person that runs the group. Again, what was the passion behind the group? Why did they create the group? What are things that people can get out of the group? Where they can go to join the group, because they're going to share that possibly video or audio outside of the group because they're trying to get what? Or people back to the group. Now, your introduction of yourself is you are the author of, you are your name, author of, and the title of the book. Now, again, if you want to send a copy of your book, even the digital copy of it, over to the owner before you get started, that's a great way to do the introduction. But you're approaching it from the place of connection first before promotion. Connection first before promotion. All right. So it gives you increased visibility by just association, just because you associated yourself with the owner of this group. So a lot of people make the mistake in Facebook groups as they go in there and they start posting links to their stuff, their Amazon listing or whatever the case may be. And it's a complete turnoff and quite frankly can get you banned from the group. I even like this strategy over even if the group allows you to do what they call, some groups allow you to do what they call free posting days, where you can just post in the group, just, your offers. I'm not even a huge fan of that because I was in a group once that had thousands of people in the group and she offered like a free posting day. Well, my post was buried like within an afternoon. It was like hundreds of offers available in there. So no one was ever going to see my post, or I shouldn't say it was lessening the chance of seeing my post. But if I reached out to a group owner itself and made a relationship with them, that got me way more visibility and way more results and way more sales, bar none. Some groups allow us to advertise, like pay them money to advertise. I don't know what the rules are with that with Facebook, so I'm not going to quote unquote say that you can just do that. But I would say that if you can do an introduction to the group owner, that could be a great way to get attention going and get their endorsement. Because again, if they share that interview in the group, that's automatic that you're going to get attention. Now, the next thing is now engaging, being active community member. So when you see people in the group posting questions, if you have the answer and it's legitimate and sincere, be that community manager, be that community member, answer questions, show up, just be that support. You're never, ever pitching yourself. It's the same idea, but the first one was on the group moderator, owner. The second one, this one is more on the members of the group itself. Now, what I'm going to show you now ties back into the first one with the banner at the top. If you're active in the group and you're always there support, you're answering questions, you're being, a supportive person, you're not pitching, you're not asking anyone to go buy your book or whatever, the tendency is going to be, especially if I find the answers to be really like sincere and really good information, I'm going to click on that person's profile picture. Guess what happens when you click on the person's profile picture? They come back and they see this up at the top of your page. They see that banner at the top of your page. So when that happens and they go see that, if they click on my picture that's in that group and they see this at the top and it's relevant to the questions that I just answered for them, what's the likelihood that they're going to then go further with me by clicking on the image, getting on my email list? So that's a backdoor way of being able to utilize groups by being helpful. One is with courting the manager of the group. The second one is support to the members of the group. Also, to the manager of the group will see you commenting, being a support person. You might want to do that first before you approach them. That way they can see that you're really there to give and not just take. But that's the secondary reason why you want to have the banner updated, because again, if people will click on your profile picture and if they see something at the top that's visually stimulating, that continues the conversation based on what I already shared, the chances are far greater that I'm going to actually click on that and actually find out more about that person, i.e., in this case, get on their email list, get on your email list. All righty. So let's move on to number 7. Number number 7. 7 is Facebook paid ads. Now, what I'm gonna suggest here with ads is a lot of people think that ads are, you have to have a lot of money to do ads. You've got to have a lot of technology to do ads. And I'm going to say there is some technology you have to have. And if you decide to get the digital bestseller planner, I actually will share with you how you can get access to a training that accompanies this on how to set what I personally like as my favorite ad type, which is called a lead form ad. Now let's talk about budget for a minute. Lead form ads, ad budget. You can test an ad for as little as $1 a day. As little as $1 a day. Facebook is not going to go buck wild with your credit card. You can set a limit on how much it spends over what length of time it spends. I like around $5 a day to give me enough data, but because again, there's many things you're testing. Ads are, once you know them, they're easier to set up, but if you don't know anything about it, it can be complicated. But what I'm going to show you here is a flow to an ad that authors can use. This here is a PDF, visual breakdown of an ad, of the ad type that I like, which is a lead form ad. And this is done by Hay House. Many of you may know who Hay House is, but Hay House is a very popular publishing company. They're worth millions, very popular. And they used coloring books for their ad in this case. So what I did is I'm just showing you screenshots of the ad type. So they used an image with, the color in it. For ads, image is the number one thing. If the images don't stop the scroll, they won't read the copy. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're using a really strong visual image, hence going back to these images that we used here. Imagine if we use something like this, for an example, in the ad type. That's going to stop the scroll because it's bold color, it's bold pattern. All righty. So we want to use an image. We're going to talk about what they're going to get. In Nefertari's case, she's giving away 3 free pages. In Hay House's example, they were giving away 4 pages. If you're writing a book, you can give away a partial of a sample chapter. You can give away a partial of a sample chapter with maybe an audio clip of you reading from the manuscript. So there's all kinds of ways to do this as a lead magnet, as a taste or teaser for what the book is going to entail. Now, what I like about this ad type is that it doesn't take people out of Facebook. So the lead cost tends to be lower because you're keeping them within the platform. Back in the day, I've been around the whole ad game for 10 plus years with Facebook. Back then, you had to take them out of Facebook onto your website. And of course, they charged more. This ad type keeps them inside the container of Facebook. So by clicking on the download button, then they're taken to this screen. All this information is all filled out by you, set up inside of Facebook. So if we notice the image up here at the top, that's on the front that we see in the Facebook feed, and then it's also repeated up here at the top of the the secondary page. Again, all of this is happening inside of Facebook. Okay. Then when they click on next, they put in their contact information. They click on next. Oh, by the way, this is autopilot is using Facebook has when they set their account up, it's going to auto-populate. They can't update this information if they wish to something else, but it's already auto-populated. They click on next, and it takes them over to the link to the privacy policy, which is something that I recommend. Well, you have to have. You must have a privacy policy in order to run ads. Again, if you decide to upgrade and get the Blueprint program today, I will help you develop that privacy policy. That's one of the things we could possibly talk about. So anyway, you have your privacy policy set up, you hit submit, and then it basically takes you to where you can go download the pages. So in this case, they're giving some instructions that accompany what the book is about. You click the download button, and then you're taken over to the pages. And this link here goes over to the actual pages, I believe. No, this goes actually to a thank you page. So what they did was after you click on this download button, this is an example of a thank you page. So the lead page I showed you earlier from Nefertari and my page, you can redirect them to a thank you page, all within inside of the container of your list building service, which could be MailChimp, it could be MailerLite, it could be GetResponse, it could be Aweber, it could be Kit, whatever you're using. All righty. So anyway, this is letting you know that they're acknowledging that the books that the pages they order are on the way to them to go check their inbox to go get it. And now they're on your email list and they're getting samples. Now, inside of that, I could also put links to where they could go buy the books on this page. So while I'm sending the samples over to them, I could still put links here to where they could go buy. They could go buy any of these books, or I could make any of these clickable. When they click on it, it'll take them over to go get the book. All right. So I just wanted to show you that. Now, let's go back over to the document here. So again, that's Facebook ads. Number 8, host a monthly giveaway. As I shared with Marsha's video earlier, she was doing a contest at the time. She was doing a giveaway. I'm only going to say this about giveaways. Be careful about them, especially on Facebook, because Facebook had some rules about doing giveaways on the platform. So I would recommend that obviously you get them on your email list because that's your real estate, that's your container, that's your platform. So whatever the rules are that you have for the contest, you can share all of that within your email list. If you have a blog, you can put it there. If you have a YouTube, you can put it there. If you have it on Facebook, let's say if you have a Facebook group, you can do it there too. I can't advise about the current rules around giveaways right now with Facebook, because I do know for a while they were kind of being a little leery about it. But I would just say, whatever you decide, you have to structure what the contest is going to be about. So what do you want them to do to be able to enter the contest? Maybe all they need to do is just sign up on your email list. Sign up on your email list. They get sample pages from your book, and you say once a month you give away a copy of one of your books, as an example. Maybe a copy of your book and a bonus to something else, maybe a class that you're doing or a workshop that you're doing or an audio version of your book. Maybe you give those away once a month or something like that. So what I'm saying about the contest is it doesn't necessarily have to be ran through a Facebook page or group, but you can definitely run it through your email list, for an example. And of course, you can do, your social media videos or whatever you're going to do on your other platforms to let people know about it. But that could be a way to get people on your email list, and then once a month you give away a book. Or if you do nonfiction and you do consults or coaching, you can also give away a coaching call or access to a class that you've recorded or something like that. So there's all kinds of ways to do contests, okay? But again, I would focus on getting people on my list. Only people on the list get access to participate in the contest itself. Moving on to number 9, collab with local businesses. This strategy I love the most because we do everything online, the tendency is that we do everything online. And so we're not actually in communication with people in a face-to-face way, which can really move the needle and open up a lot of opportunities. You know, back in the day, and they still do it now, but back in the day before everything got online, when an author published a book, they did a tour. They went from city to city with their books, and they actually talked to people. Sometimes they read from the book, sometimes they just met with people, but that was the way you marketed. That was grassroots ways of marketing. We've gotten really away from that a lot. The bigger New York Times bestseller people understand this strategy, why they still do it. But you don't need to have a New York Times bestseller to employ this strategy in your business. I recommend highly that if the subject aligns with the local business, it can be a coffee shop, it can be a restaurant, it could be a store, it could be, you know, it could be the public library, it could be your local community center. There's a myriad of different opportunities out there. And the number one thing that brick and mortar businesses want is they want foot traffic. They need people in their shop or in their, you know, establishment. So anywhere where you can bring people in, do it. And it's so easy to do. You walk in with your book, you introduce yourself to the owner or the manager, you propose an idea or a couple of ideas to them and see what is going to be an attention grabber for them. If the person is on board with it, you both decide on a date, what it's going to look like. You come in, you do a reading, or if it's a color activity book, maybe you do like a color together opportunity or a journaling together opportunity. One of my member students, she does illustrations of plant life, like flowers and things like that. That's her coloring book. So I recommended to her to go to shops where they sell flowers and plants and things like that, like a gardening shop. And they were very interested in that. I don't know if it actually happened yet. I think the timing was the weather was winter. She lives in Scotland, but they were very interested in that. So she could come in and bring in some people. They can talk about the book and coloring the plants. Obviously, while they're in the shop, what are they going to do? They're going to walk away with some seeds, or they're going to walk away with some plants, or they're going to walk away with some flowers. So it's a win-win for both people. So anywhere where you can do like a meet and greet kind of a situation, you know, there's many opportunities out there as your imagination will allow you to come up with. You just have to be willing to get out there and actually talk to people. The next thing I like about it is it's a great way for you to take the temperature of how people are responding to your work. The next thing is you now, with permission, of course, if you can get photographs with people who have bought your book, if you can have video of the conversations you had with people who engaged with your book, guess what? Now you have content for social media. Content for social media. You can share that with your newsletter list. You can share that on your Facebook page or Instagram page or TikTok or whatever. So it is, and it gives it plants the seed for future buyers that someone else is also enjoying your book. So again, do yourself a favor, do focus on, if you can, once a month, or at the very least once a quarter, some kind of an in-person experience with your book. Now, inside of the planner, I give you a copy of my collaboration script. So when you click on it, it's going to ask you to make a copy. And right here, if you want to do this by email initially, or you can just speak this out loud to the person you go, walk in the shop. So you introduce yourself by name. If you're feeling this way, you can say, I have to admit, I'm a little shy, nervous, whatever, to send you this message. As a small business owner, I value community and collaboration, always looking for opportunities to support my fellow fill in the blank with whatever their customers are. Reaching out because I know we have a similar audience, have an idea that could help us to serve them better, insert your idea. And then here is a list of the different ideas that you could possibly collab with them with. Okay. So again, I give you a copy of that script, and then you could actually just modify this, email it, and or follow it up with an in-person meeting if you can arrange that. Okay. Next thing is sending books to influencers. Now, a local shop could be an influencer because obviously they have community people that come in the store. So they are an influencer. We have to expand the definition of an influencer. We think only of Instagram people, but an influencer, and while it definitely can be that, an influencer in this context can be someone that has a strong online presence and you feel intuitively that they would appreciate and be a fit for your book. So I would recommend that again, it could be speakers, it could be podcasters, it could be educators, community leaders, it could be e-com people. If your subject of your book connects with their e-com products, that could be, a possibility. So you can reach out via, let's say, Instagram in this case, do a DM, introduce yourself, see if they'd be interested. If you get a response back, send them a copy of your book. If it's a coloring activity book, I'd say throw in maybe a set of pencils in there, whatever, that really kind of sweetens the pot. I do know of a YouTuber that did do this successfully. I won't mention the name of her or the person that she connected with, but let's just say a pretty well-known, very popular actress actually showed herself sitting on the plane coloring in this lady's book. So, again, it went a long way towards getting the word out and more people knowing about it. All righty. So again, you've got to be able to be willing to approach people, be willing to not hear back or them saying possibly no and not taking it personally and just keep it moving. Because you could be one person away, one contact away from a major, shift in your business. A lot of times we won't get those opportunities because we won't ask for them. So I recommend to do whatever you need to do to work through that, because again, you only need one contact to really change things for you. All right. So those are the 10 main strategies that you can employ. Update your Facebook banner, create interest post, showcase your book through an open box or page flip, demonstrate the inside of your book, engage with the Facebook group owner, become an active community member, experiment with paid ads, host a monthly giveaway or quarterly giveaway, collab with local businesses, send your book out to influencers. Now I've got 5 more ideas for you. So you can also create a book trailer, or you can just do a talking head, even an AI generated version of you talking about your book. Or if you don't want to be on camera, and you can now use AI tools to be able to have this done. This was a sample that I made with a tool called DID. This is an online AI generator tool. I'll show you what this looks like. I can click over to it, get it to go. Oh, here we go. I had it on YouTube.
So you've either created and published your book or you're currently working on one. In either case, congratulations. Whether it's your first title or your 10th, you need to create awareness not only to get the word out, but to generate genuine excitement for your book project that you've poured your heart, soul, and creativity into. Because we know that attention leads to sales. The video you're watching now is just one of the ways to create interest and excitement in your book, and it's just one of several ways your teacher Rodney Washington will be showing you in the new workshop Promote Your Book as you're creating it. In addition to learning how to create a talking avatar video like this one, Rodney will show you how to set up newsfeed scroll-stopping graphics complete with editable Canva templates. He'll also show you how to create interest posts that encourage engagement and generate interest in your book project. You'll get script ideas for posts and get coaching on how to use these posts to attract the attention of future book buyers and launch an email list in this live interactive workshop. To join us, click the link somewhere on this page or post.
So now
So you've either created and
So what you're looking at here is an image that I created with a tool called Midjourney. And what I did was I used that image and then I ran it through another AI tool called DID. I wrote out a script of what I wanted her to say. and I found a voice style that I liked, and that's how this video got made. So this is actually an image that DID actually animated for me. Now, this was the simplest way to do it. There's, of course, way more ways to do this, but I'm just showing you the simplest way to do this. But again, this is, again, relying on, some AI tools, whether it's for the image and or of your, of yourself. Now, of course, the simplest way to do it, if you don't want to deal with any of the AI tools, is just to record yourself talking about your book or however you want to handle it. Or you can talk about, or you can have yourself filmed. That's probably it's probably the fastest way to do it. Although for some who don't want to be on camera, it may not necessarily be the easiest. So it just depends. But anyway, I tested this out as an idea, and I think it, again, there's way more to that than this, but I just wanted to show you what's possible. Okay. So again, you could do a book trailer or introduction about your book. All right. Of course, the next one is postcard flyers. Highly recommend as soon as you get your cover solidified, get a postcard done with the cover art on the front side of it. If you've got a testimonial or a review, you can pop that on there too, because again, everyone wants to see if someone else went first and got your book. On the other side of the card, you can have some information about the book, and you can put a QR code there. The QR code would then send them over to ideally your landing page. As I showed you earlier, they fill out the form. It then directs them over to Amazon or wherever the book is located. I recommend having a healthy stack of these with you at all times, because you never know when you're going to get an opportunity to hand them out or leave them somewhere. Also, I think Nefertari has done bookmarks. So bookmarks could be another option. And it's an obvious bookmark for a book is an obvious card choice. So I would say definitely just have something that you can just easily hand out to people, and an easy way for them to get on your email list that you can build an audience and a relationship with them. Now, the next one's a little bit more involved, but it ties back into what I talked about earlier about connecting with influencers. Podcasting is something that a lot of people, a lot of authors, well, put it like this. Every New York Times best-selling author does a podcast tour. Books and podcasting go together like chocolate and peanut butter. What I love about podcasting is that, unlike video, unless it could be a video podcast, but if it's an audio podcast, the person that chooses to listen to podcast actively listens. They're not distracted by visuals. So if you're having a really good conversation with the interviewer about the subject that is of interest to their audience, and they're interviewing you as the expert because you have positioned yourself as the author of, the same way I shared that strategy earlier about the Facebook group moderators or owners, it's the same idea with podcast. So you want to obviously be on shows where you are delivering something that is of power, of interest to their listeners. Again, you're making them look good to their people. So you're going to pitch ideas based on your research of the show and what you know about the show and the topics they've covered, and find your own particular slant, and you pitch them. And if they're interested, they book you on the show, and it can go a long way towards helping you to sell more copies of your book. Inside the Digital Blueprint Planner, I give you a copy of my podcast guesting readiness guide. This is just one of the things that you get. So this is like a checklist of what you need to do to get yourself ready to be interviewed by someone. And also I have a service where I can help you also with your pitch letter, writing your pitch, helping you get your media, kit done, helping you with your marketing campaign for the podcast, all of that. I can help you with that. So I have a service where I do that. So I would give you access. If you decide to get the planner, I'll give you access to this guide. Also, in addition to that, this accompanies a training that I did with my Coloring Book Creator Mentor students, where I did some hot seat coaching and actually helped them research shows. So you decide to upgrade into the planner, you'll also get access to that training as well. Righty. So we're moving on to number 14. Number 14 is maximize every image opportunity on social. Again, you can always do the standard single image ones, but the carousel post one is one that's very popular because it's a sequence of images that tell a story. It can be 3 images, 5 images, 6 images, whatever. I like the carousel post because it encourages the viewer to take action. They're not just sitting there looking at a single image on a screen. They have to swipe to read the next image. So you could take inspirational quotes and make it a series. You can take, in this case, Margaretha Madison was one of my students. She created a coloring book called Tea and Me Time, which was a combination of recipes, all based around her love and passion for tea. So what we did was we made, I made a series of posts. She had a recipe for dark chocolate Earl Grey cookies. I did one image that showed the cover of the book. Then I grabbed some images from Canva of a finished product. I did one of like the ingredients and preparing to get the cookies made. And then I did an AI image here of a young girl enjoying the cookies out of the oven. And then of course, the last image here was a QR code that went over to, in this case, she just had to go right to Amazon to go buy her book. So again, I like carousel posts because again, it's not a totally passive type of post. It does require the viewer to actually take action by swiping, which means that they're going to stay on the post longer. Okay, so if you're going to use still images on Instagram, I can't speak for this for Facebook, but I know Instagram is really, really a good platform for that. All righty. And again, I have a template for you inside of the planner on how to create a carousel post right here. So you actually can see the actual images that I did for her. And of course, you can modify this with your own colors and, cover art and all of that. All righty. All righty. The last one is number 15. This one here is probably one of the most important ones of all of them. And it's the one I say all the time to all of my students is be willing to get in front. What I mean by get in front is books don't, if it's a compelling title and if it's a compelling subject with an audience that's wanting that book, the book alone can sell itself. But books that are bestsellers don't sell themselves without the person that created the book being in front of it. So the number one thing I tell all of my students all the time is being willing to get in front, whether it's a live stream like what we're doing right now, whether it is in person, like I said earlier, with shops or stores or being on someone's podcast or whatever. They're buying us first and then what we've created. So this was a strategy, or actually a challenge that I gave to all of my students, and Christine took me up on it, and she published I said, post a picture of yourself holding your book. Now, what she did was she had the book sitting beside her with her picture and posted it on her personal page. When this went live, I think she had up to 90 something comments back and forth. Most people saying, I didn't even know you created a book. I'm guilty of that. When I did my book, I didn't tell anyone in my personal circle either. So I almost should make this number 1, but I'm going to leave it for the last one because I feel it's the one that out of all the other things I shared, this is one of the first ones that you should do. Update the banner at the top of your page and then post a picture of yourself with your book. Or it could be video too, but it doesn't really matter, whichever one you decide to go with. We don't know who's connected to us. We don't know who people know. And we can miss out on tremendous opportunities because we are not telling people about what we have going on. What I'm suggesting strongly to you, if you're watching this live or in the replay, is that you get into the regular habit of letting people see your face. Get into the regular habit of showing your book and what you worked on, because if you don't do that, then they don't know. People buy from us first before they buy us, before they buy what we're selling. So it's really super important that you do whatever you need to do to work through that. Because again, if you can do this online, then it makes it much easier for you to go into a store or a shop or approach a business or a podcaster or whatever you want to do. It makes it much easier for you to be able to do that because of the fact that you have been willing to get yourself in front. So again, it can be just a picture of yourself with your book. This was a very simple post that Christine did. This also will qualify as an interest post, like what I showed you earlier. She says her name. She's proud to announce the share of her book, the title of it. Thank you in advance for support. Now, the other step I would have given her to do is I would have said, if you'd like sample pages or you'd like to know where to get a copy of it, type in the word something in the comments, and then she could have started that conversation. And I believe she did. She posted this almost 2 years ago. But anyway, I wanted to share this one with you because again, this is an opportunity that a lot of people don't go for. And I just want to make sure that you take advantage of it. All righty. So again, these are the 10 plus ideas to getting yourself out there. You can employ any of them or all of them. It just depends upon where you're at. But I do recommend that you at least get into the regular habit of doing something consistently. Because again, it's all about consistency. It's all about showing up, people seeing what you've got going on, and they can't buy what they don't know exists. All righty. So I highly recommend that you get in the habit of doing this. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the planner. The digital planner here, that the bestseller blueprint, it is a digital planner. It's a clickable planner. I'm actually going to go over to the actual, let's see if I can find it here really quick. Got so many tabs open. Let's see here. Yes, this is it. Okay, so I designed this planner so that you can actually just click to go to certain areas inside the planner. So for an example, all of the 15 ideas, this is the introduction page. So when you click on the tab at the top, it goes to the introduction. It's only one page. Then when you click on 10 ways, actually I'm going to change it to 10 plus ways. This is where you find all of the different ideas I shared with you today. And if it accompanied a template or a script, then those links are clickable there. Then I have a program called a profit plan. The profit plan is based on a course that I did about a year ago, and where I walked viewers through a plan to go from idea to developing their book and their related projects. And you get access to that training. I want to talk about that for a little bit here. So inside of the profit plan, you get the first training was on unleashing your inner creator. I talked about my journey, how to develop our powerful ideas. There's an exercise I call the power of three. We are 3 shifts in our thinking, in our connections, and in our actions to get us to where we want to go. So I talk about that in that exercise. I also talk about the identity statement. As you heard me say throughout this presentation, I'm always talking about how you introduce yourself. You want to start introducing yourself as the person that you are now as an author. You are not just your name. You are your name, the author of. You want to put that in your writing. You want to put that when you're talking to people, because the minute that you say you're an author, people immediately want to know, what did you create? What are you the author of? That just basic conversation that you have with people, especially if you carry around your books with you, you could be getting sales right then on the spot just by introducing yourself as the author of a book. People respect and value books. And I believe respect and value authors. So when you introduce yourself that way, your identity, it moves you towards getting the result that you want, which is the more eyeballs and sales on your book. Okay. So I talk about that in day 1. The next one, day 2, is monetization strategy. This one here is I share with you 6 ways that you can monetize your talents beyond just the book. So again, you can sell online, you can sell offline if you want, you can teach or host workshops. That's what I've done. You can open your own shop if you want to make ancillary products based on the concepts in the book. Everything from coffee mugs to t-shirts to um, phone case covers, whatever you want to do, you can open your own store around the book or around the subject or the premise or the theme behind the book. All right. Obviously, there's consulting and coaching, which is what I do. Or you could become a YouTube influencer. YouTube, it takes a while. It's not a quick fix. But if you are really good and really prolific with making video content, you could actually use your book as a positioning tool and then develop yourself as a YouTube influencer. Again, in YouTube can pays quite handsomely once you hit certain benchmarks. It's not an overnight thing. It does take time. You got to be all in on it if you decide to do it. But YouTube can be a great way for you to get your voice and your work out there. And even prior to being monetized on YouTube, you can monetize yourself on YouTube by just sharing links to go get on your landing page and or go buy your book, just in the videos that you make. It's just a matter of being consistent with what you are doing. So that's day number 2, the monetization mastery training. And then number 3 is designing your publish and profit plan. This is where you're going to decide what you're selling that month, how much you want to sell that month, what all of the things you need to do to get prepped that you can sell that month. So, each month we want to be in the habit of launching something. And we need to develop, obviously, content for that, whether it's YouTube videos, carousel posts, reaching out to local businesses, pitching ourselves to podcasts, updating our banner on our Facebook page, doing an open box page flip. You can employ any of these strategies on a monthly basis to be able to get more eyeballs on your book, because again, no, people can't buy what they don't know exists. So you want to get into the regular habit of that. And at the end of each month, you want to debrief what you did. So what did you do? What results did it yield? So that you then know what to do to improve so that you can be better the next time that you launch, next time you relaunch. So we talk about that in day 3. And all of these trainings accompany worksheets, templates, and scripts and bonus lessons that you can employ immediately to do, to use this. If you are really good with video and you want to do more video, I give you 36 short form video ideas that you can do to promote your book. This is a downloadable PDF that I have. Plus, for a limited time, I'm not even sure how long I'll keep this as a part of it, but I do have a Facebook ads training. I talked about Facebook earlier. I showed you the demonstration of the Facebook ad that Hay House used. So I did do a live Facebook ads workshop. Again, this is a link to that Hay House layout of the ad campaign that they ran, but I do go over how to do your own ads as a 2-part training, so you can get access to that. And the entire blueprint actually there's some bonus things. So the entire blueprint includes a copy of this digital planner. It's going to include the profit plan training, those three modules I showed you earlier. It's going to give you the Facebook ads training, plus how to get booked on podcast training. This was something that I did again for my society members. And I have that whole training in here. Actually, if you decide to upgrade and get this today, this is the page that you will get access to, where all the trainings will be there, including the replay from today's session will be here at the top. You'll get access to go download the digital planner that I just showed you. And here is access to all of the trainings and all of the support materials right here. So this is a 3-day profit planner training, access to the social media content pack, the ads training. There's a workbook outline that goes with that. Those are 2-part training. Then I added on the podcast training. This has not been made available outside of my private members group. So I now have that training available. This here is actually a 2-parter. So you get the outline on how to get yourself booked. You get my script and how to pitch shows. also your contact sheet so that you can record the shows that you have pitched. And then I have additional 2-part training on this, where these are like this one here is about an hour. These two are both about 20 minutes. But this is where I do hot seat coaching. So I actually show my members how to go find shows and how to find aligned shows between their subject and the audience of the persons they want to reach. So I give you that training as well. You also, you get the readiness checklist, and then the program includes how to book a one-on-one session with me to be able to actually have me support you in any of these areas. It's a 1-hour session. It can be around podcasting, it can be around ads, it could be around pretty much anything we talked about today. That session's available. Now, in addition, I also added a new chat GPT a chat GPT called the 30-day promo plan. So you can actually type into this what you're promoting that month, and the GPT will actually create out a 30-day plan for you of all the things you need to do over 30 days. It'll ask you a series of questions and it'll spit out a full plan for you. So again, I want to make this as automated as possible for you so you can get into action easier. So you get access to that 30-day planner. And then, of course, you get the 1-hour implementation strategy session with me. So I'm offering this right now for a very limited time for the price point I'm getting ready to show you. Again, everything I've shown you here, you get this whole planner. And at the end, and all the training that I just gave you access to. If you're more of a written person, then I've also got the each month's planner pages for each month. So, sales planner for each month. So each month you'll get a sales planner page, and you'll also get a social media calendar. If you want to write things out as opposed to using the GPT, or in addition to, you can totally do that. And you get a blank monthly calendar as well. Again, you do not have to print this out, although you could if you wish. But again, the way I structured, you can just click to the month and it'll take you right to that planner for that month. So for example, if I'm in, this is also undated. So you don't have to, whenever you get this, you're never going to be restricted by the date. Like, this was for 2025. So if you want to look at, let's say January, let's say it's October, November of this year, you want to look at January, just click on January. It'll take you right to the month of January where those pages are there for those 2 months. Alrighty? So all of that's right there. It's really easy to click around and see things. So this program, with everything that I've included with it, the digital planner, all those course trainings, plus a one-on-one implementation session with me, I could easily sell this for $497 or more. And it eventually will go to that price. For sure, it will go to that price. But because you're with me live, if you choose to upgrade, you can get it today for just $97. So you get the digital planner, plus the training, everything I showed you, plus a 1-hour strategy call for just $97. I'm going to be running this training regularly. So the next time you come and see it, the price may be higher on the next one I do, but eventually it will be higher on the next one I do. So again, I can easily go for $400 to $597 for this, maybe even up to $1,000. But I know that I want to get this into as many people's hands who are ready to take action on what I show. And if that's you, you can get it today for just $97. The link to pick it up is available right here. It's a simple link on Stripe, simple checkout. And you just pay the $97. As soon as your payment clears, you're going to be immediately directed to this page here with all the training. So the replay from today's session is already embedded right here. So you want to rewatch this, it's already set up to be at the top of this. Then if you want to go through to all the different modules, all of that's available by scrolling down, or you can click on the little 3 dashes up at the top and go straight to the part of the page where I'm talking about that training. So if you want to watch day one, Unleash Your Inner Creator, takes you right there. You want to go look at day number 2, Monetization Mastery, takes you right there. You want to look at the Facebook ads training part 1, takes you right there. Okay. On and on and on. Get booked on podcast, takes you right to that section. Want to find out about the GPT, click on that, takes you right there. Want to book that one-on-one strategy call with me, click that right there. What it'll do is it'll take you to Facebook Messenger. You'll message me and say, hey, Rodney, I want to book my implementation strategy call with you. I'll respond back with the link to my current calendar at that time, and we can set that session up, right? And then at the bottom of this page is basically introduction to me. And there's some videos here of some of my students I've worked with, like Lisa, who I mentioned earlier. Lisa lives in Scotland. She's a fabric and surface pattern designer. She published her book with me a couple of years ago. She's working on a new book right now. She's doing extremely well right now as far as all of her efforts, her marketing efforts, opening up tons of opportunities for herself. This is Lorraine's page flip video. I have a testimony here from Marcia. Here is Nefertari's. Michelle Wolf is one of my students who's done extremely well. I think Michelle now has published 20 plus books since we got started, really going strong. And here's an interview with Michelle and I here, and an interview with Susie Ontara, who's another student of mine. And I've got more coming. This is who I have so far, okay? And then here is some just screen grabs from different authors I've worked with and their books as well, plus some of the written testimonials down here. And again, a link to book that strategy call with me. So again, you get access to the whole thing, all of it, program, support, the whole 9 yards. Again, oh, I'm sorry to me to do that way. You get the whole thing for just $97 today. Again, if you decide to invest. What I'll do is I will pop the link to the Stripe payment. I will pop that into the chat here on YouTube, and I will also put it in the description as well. So I'll do that so you can, if you decide to go ahead and get it, it's going to be available for you to get right there. This is the thing. At the end of the day, we as creatives, we can create beautiful things. Books, jewelry, clothing, whatever. The thing that almost every creative I know struggles with is marketing, promotion, and sales. And there's no reason for the struggle if you are willing to do the work. It's not going to just happen. Do the work, get support, and take action. If you do that, you increase the chances. I can't promise or guarantee anything, but I can say this. This wouldn't, where I'm at today with me right now on this call, wouldn't be happening if I wasn't willing to do what I'm doing right now, which is to be on video and show you these opportunities. So again, I want to encourage you to, whatever you decide to do, to just take action and take consistent action, even on the days when you're not feeling it, even on the days when you're questioning everything and wondering if anything you're doing is working. Because again, people can't buy what they don't know exists. And they can't buy, and they won't buy from people that they don't feel a connection to. So what I've hopefully shared with you today, and hopefully inspired you today to do, is to realize that we, as a creator, is just as valuable, if not more so, than what it is that we quote unquote sell. And that if you're willing to do the upfront, consistent outreach that you need to do in a variety of different ways, because you don't know what's going to be things going to move the needle. But we don't just rest on one thing. We test a few different things. Your favorite word is testing. You test different ideas and see what works for you. And once you find that thing that works for you, we have data, and then we take that information and we just rinse and repeat. We rinse and repeat. Now, there's way more to this. There's things I talked about like landing pages, talked about, setting up an email list. There's all kinds of things I didn't talk about, but I want to give you at least the front-facing things that you need to get yourself started. And of course, when you book the implementation call with me, we can discuss those other back-end things that you will most likely need, including if you need support with actually developing your book. That's a whole other level of support I can provide for you as well. So again, you get all of this that I shared, the whole thing, this digital planner, all the resources, everything today for just $97. At the time I'm recording this, again, I'm going to raise the price on this. So if you watch this later, if I don't take this video down, you watch this video later, you click on the link, it may be higher. It may be higher than that. It will be if I don't take it down for sure. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the link really quick. I'm going to stop the share for just a minute on Zoom. I'm going to grab the link to the planner, to the cart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it into the chat here on YouTube. And I'm going to also pop it in the description as well. Okay, so let me just grab that, test to make sure it works. I'm going to go to YouTube really quick. Okay, let's do this thing there. Let's go to YouTube. Let's be one quick second here and I'll pop that into the chat. In the meantime, does anyone have any questions for me about anything that I've talked about today? Let's go to YouTube, just turn my volume off. Let's see here. Let's see if I can pop the link in. Oh, here it is down here. Okay. Here's the link to purchase the digital bestseller. Put this in the chat here for you. So I just popped it in the chat on YouTube, and I'm gonna also put the link in the description after the call. So again, does anyone have any questions about anything that I've covered today? Hey, Jean. Hope you're well. I know it's like about a 20-second delay, so I'm waiting a few minutes. Based on what I've shared today, is what of this most excites you or interests you to do? Of the 10 different ideas. What I will recommend, I know there's a delay on the chat. Of the ones that move the needle the most, I would say without question, anything that gives you the opportunity to directly communicate with a collab partner will, in my opinion, will always move the needle faster than just what I call the more passive or indirect strategies. What I mean by that is podcasting, yeah. Some of these take time. I mean, it's about relationship building, reaching out to people, working out details about things. They don't have to be complicated. But what I will say is that getting booked on the right show could change your business. Getting in front of a Facebook group manager that can put you in front of their audience can change your business. Going to a local store or shop and working out an arrangement to do an event can change your business. Those things require more of you taking more action in order to arrange those things. Anybody can post something on Instagram or social media. Anybody can do that. You can update the banner on Facebook at the top. That's all of that, do a carousel post, all those kinds of things always, are there, and those should be working for you too. But the things that will always get you more response, reaction, and get income in your pocket faster are those one-to-one, those relationships that you create as a result of reaching out to people and asking people, going into groups and actively looking for questions to answer and commenting, reaching out to the group moderator and seeing if there's a match where you can interview them, something to give them content because that's what they need, reaching out to the podcast host, reaching out to the local businesses. Those things take a little bit more time because there's more moving parts involved, but they do have a more direct or faster ROI. Now, of course, yes, you can do YouTube videos. You can definitely do Instagram. You can definitely do, all of those content generating things. But again, all of that is only as good as people seeing what you post. And again, and there's a consistency thing that has to happen. You got to be doing it on a regular basis in order to be able to do it. And sometimes it can burn you out a little bit. But I say, don't just rely solely on social media. Just don't rely on like that album banner at the top. You only can do that. Well, you can change it out, but you only kind of do that once or twice. You can do interest posts, but again, those take time, to get attention on. Again, you've got to post things in a way that gets people to respond so that you can start that back and forth conversation because you are working with the algorithms. So I don't say it's either or, I say it's this and. It's this and. You got to be willing to do both. And that's the reason why I'm going to go back over to share the planner with you again. It's the reason why I wanted to give you a variety of ideas because I understand that not everything you're going to be able to do at the same time, but you do want to be able to make an active decision to do most of these things at least once a month. Like you can pitch yourself to a podcast or reach out to a Facebook group or whatever. You can do that once a month, twice a month, whatever, because those things may not happen in that month. That may be something that happens 2 months down the line or something like that, for an example. So you've got your longer term things that are going to take more time because there's someone else has got to say yes to being able to let you do that. But you can turn on an ad today and start collecting leads today. That I don't even question. If as long as the imagery and the copy and everything lines up, you can do that now. There's nothing holding you back on that. You can do a page flip video immediately, put that out there. You can update your Facebook banner immediately. You can do an interest post immediately. Those things. You can host a monthly giveaway immediately. You can go out and do postcard flyers, for an example, and you can go out and hand those out. You can go to events and hand those out. That's, easier to do. So again, there's the imagery part of things and the video content part of things. And then there's the face-to-face, more direct, even if it's online, there's the more direct things. You can also approach YouTubers as well. One of the things that I like to do is to find out where is the alignment between what you do and the person that might need what it is that you have. Because again, we have to approach them from, you're not asking them to promote you. Again, this is a secret sauce. You're promoting them. You're promoting them. You're helping them look good. One of the things I mentioned Margaretha's book earlier, Tea and Me Time. And one of the things that I recommended to her early on in her process was to approach people who owned tea shops. That's an obvious connection. You know, she's got a book that has recipes in the book that's all built around tea. Tea shops is an automatic, natural connection point between those two subject matters. She could come in as the author of the book, maybe even make some recipes. Let's say she made cookies or scones or one of the many wonderful recipes she had in the book using one of that store's tea. Maybe the company that produced the tea would have featured her on a blog, their blog or their website. Please don't sleep on collaborations if you can, because you don't know where those can go. You know, so that's just one. And to me, it's more fun and more exciting than just posting stuff on social media and kind of waiting around to see, okay, is someone going to click on this? Is someone going to respond to this? You know, like do more of the, what I call the belly to belly type of marketing where you can, because those move the needle for you faster. So yeah, I'm always emphasizing live events wherever you can do that. Okay. Let's see. I want to look at the questions. Okay, you sent me a message on Instagram, Gene. Okay, want to learn how to create a book? Wonderful. Yeah. I still do that. Again, I'm expanding beyond, I'm not beyond, well, I don't want to say beyond. I'm still, you know, helping people with coloring books and planners and journals. But yeah, I am also starting to work with nonfiction writers as well. Obviously, I'm not writing your book, but I'm helping you with the book as far as this. Because again, as I said earlier, the marketing and the promotion and the connections and all of that begins. If you get nothing else out of what I say today, please get this one. Your marketing and promotional efforts and activities start when you decide to create the book, not once the book is done. Not once the book is done. Yes, of course, while after the book is done, you still want to keep doing this, but you want to start thinking about it and making a plan for it while you're working on the book. And I feel personally, if you've got the right connections, you're building the right connections with things, you're getting people interested, excited, that's going to spur you on to get the book done faster, because you've now got a place for it to go once it's done. So this planner in this program is a great introductory point, because again, so as I started at the top of this call, so many people assume that because the book lives on Amazon, it's just going to sell by itself with no effort on your part. And that's just not true. It's just not true. You are the creator of the book, and that means you are the authorpreneur, emphasis on preneur of the book. You must be the person doing all the legwork to get it out there. Amazon is just fulfillment. They're going to print the book, pack it, and ship it to your customer and collect the money. That's all. That's their role, period. They're not promoting you. They're not promoting you. Okay. So this part here, you need this part here. This plan here will get you moving in the right direction. And I feel will give you the enthusiasm and the passion that you need to get your book done. Because why are you doing it? You can be passionate about the subject, but you want people to invest in your book. You want to get eyeballs on the book so that you can get sales. Hence the title of this workshop. Bestseller Blueprint, 10 plus proven strategies to get more eyeballs and sales on your book. That's why I chose that title. All righty. So that's really all I have for you. I don't want to hold you here much longer, but first of all, appreciate you taking the time to come. Again, I'm going to be doing this workshop more. And I really want to help you, anyone listening. And if you know of someone that you find this was of value to them, please share the link. Like I said, you're already on YouTube, so you already got the link to to the to the show, to the episode. So just share it with them. And if you know of someone that is working on a book, or you're thinking about making a book, reach out to me. I'm going to put all my contact information underneath in the description. I'm going to go in and update all of that with the link to the current pricing for the planner blueprint, and also how to message me or email me if you want to ask me questions about the program. Again, I focus on the whole thing. It's a whole holistic thing. It's about the book itself and the marketing part of it too. All righty. So if anyone has any last minute questions for me, I'm happy to answer them here on Zoom. I'm not sorry, on YouTube. I'm just so grateful that this one went off without a hitch. So I'm going to be doing more of these sessions, and I look forward to helping you all, wherever you're watching the replay or whether you are with me live. I look forward to supporting you with getting your vision out of your head and into your hands and out to the world. I've added that on. My initial tagline was out of your head and into your hands. Now it's out of your head, into your hands, and out into the world. So that's what I want to help you do. All righty. So thank you again so much for coming. And yeah, I will see you the next time, hopefully. And again, share this video with anyone that you think would find value in it. And I look forward to supporting you. If you have any questions about anything, including access to the program and how to get it, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to support that way as well. All righty. So I'm going to stop the share at this point, and I'm going to end the live stream. And I'll see you next time. Okay, take care, everyone.